So, let's talk about Hunter x Hunter. As of right now, I give this series a solid 8 to an 8.5 out of 10. Hunter x Hunter has very great storytelling as well as great thematical and philosophical references that make it one of the most uniquely well written and well executed stories in shonen history, as well as having very profound themes and characters throughout its story. But today, I'm going to be going over the flaws and criticisms I had while watching Hunter x Hunter. So for those who are new here, just remember that this is just my opinion. Just because I'm being critical of Hunter x Hunter does not mean that I think the series is bad. So if you agree with anything I have to say, please comment below and tell me why, and if you disagree, please comment below and tell me why. Again, my opinion is opening to change. As we all know, the series is not finished yet, but until then, these are my criticisms on Hunter x Hunter. Let me make two things clear first. First, I do not hate Gon as a character. In fact, he's my favorite character in this series. And two, I don't believe character development is the only way to make a great character. I'll be going more in depth on this in a later video, but until then, let's talk about Gon. Because honestly, I feel like this is a misconception to how Gon is written as a main character. Because Gon fits more of a flat character arc. For those unaware of the meaning, a flat character is a character that remains the same throughout the entire series, as well as their personality does not necessarily change. However, in the case of Gon, I can't help but feel like his character development is pretty flawed. Now I know there's Hunter x Hunter fans that may disagree with what I have to say here, and some may agree with me and know where I'm coming from. So let's look at a few examples to see if Gon really undergoes any change or development within his character to help benefit himself or the world around him. So the first real incident I like to bring up is the fight against Hanzo, a hunter contestant that has been proven to be more skilled and talented than Gon was at this time. As the fight looks like it's nearing to be over, he tells Gon to give up and stop fighting, as the gap between them as fighters was nowhere near close. Hanzo decides to give up as he realizes he cannot kill Gon or try to make him surrender, so he would take his chances in the next round, and it's not like he was not going to get his hunter license at all. Gon responds to this proposition and says that he cannot accept a victory like this. He wants a fair fight. While it does show the bravery that Gon has and willingness to become the hunter his father wants him to be, it's still destructive to himself and hinders his own growth. While it is re-shown back in the Chimera Ant arc, feels like something Gon should have understood or experienced way sooner in the story. Now, to give Togashi more props, he does have very impressive foreshadowing, but my criticism towards Gon's character development does not change. Now, to be fair, Gon was unconscious at the time. Fight between Ituraka and Killua is about to begin. While it is a shock twister that it's actually Killua's brother Illumi, and during this confrontation, he tells Killua to go home, that he isn't fit to be a hunter and that he is an assassin. Gon ends up hearing about this and tells Illumi to apologize to Killua, and once Illumi says no, the badass thing Gon does is break Illumi's arm. But the question still lies about Gon's character development, and what he learned was absolutely nothing. As I said, Gon fits more of a flat character arc, and also, he's just a kid. But even in saying that, that's kinda not really an excuse, because there have been other characters near Gon's age that have learned a lot better over time, as well as being younger. They learn to accept losing, as in to strengthen their own passions and dreams. But it's not just about losing, it's about why they lost, and what they can do to improve, how they can strengthen their resolve for others around them, as well as themselves. And it's not to say that Gon himself has not experienced or gone through this. My problem lies with him not utilizing it to better himself, because if he did, moments like this would have had a very much different outcome for his character. Before people bring this up, I do understand the duality perspectives between Gon and Killua. Throughout the journey, Gon is losing more of his morality and entering through the darkness, while Killua gains more of a sense of morality and enters through the light. And as I will state again, this does not mean that I think Gon is a bad character. In fact, he is my favorite character in this series. I just think a lot of people have a misconception to how Gon is written. Last point I'm going to make on this topic is that I can understand some rebuttals being that Gon's development is him losing his morality. He's gone from this cheerful young kid to a full-blown psychopath. However, my rebuttal would be that he still does things that you can argue are morally correct. I mean, there's times where he stood up for others, there's times where he saved people, and the main reason he was angry like this was because of Kite. But that's all. I still think Gon is a very well written character, but just not a well developed character. And or I feel like his character development can be fairly misleading or just a huge misconception. Now on to my next point, which I'm talking about is the cast of Hunter x Hunter. And in particularly, I mean the main cast. Now individually, I feel like every cast member in their own right is very well done and very well written. However, when it comes down to them as a group, I can't say the same. Now this may be more of a personal issue that I had while watching it, but this is more about the screen time each character shared. I have no issues with other side characters getting their own arcs or stories to help benefit more of the main story. However, if that's the case, I feel like the character should reflect the theme. And in the case of Hunter x Hunter, I feel like it's heavily thematical, where everything is going on at once and where the main theme can truly be lost. For retrospective, let's look back at each of the main characters and the reasoning to why they became hunters. Gon wants to be a hunter to find his father, Kurapika wants revenge for his clan, Leorio wants to become a doctor, and Killua doesn't want to be an assassin anymore. While each character has an admirable goal in their own right, I couldn't help but feel like something was missing. And to me, that was the camaraderie, the connection that these guys had that wasn't really utilized. And no, I'm not saying they have to be like the Straw Hat Pirates, or the Order of the Black Knights, Team Gurren Lagann, the Dollars, and as well as my favorite group, the Phantom Thieves, and many more as well. I believe what separates Hunter x Hunter from other groups is that it handles things more on an individual level. However, most of it is not explored or talked about. For example, we don't know how Leorio learned his Nen. We don't even know what Kurapika and Leorio were doing during the Chimera Ant arc. And the same thing can be said for arcs like Heaven's Arena and Greed Island. As I stated before, my real main issue with the cast is about the screen time and the balance of their character being explored and shown to us throughout the story. And of course, there's nothing wrong with vague characters. Not every character needs a backstory to be considered a great character. What I really would have enjoyed to see is what Kurapika's presence could have done against Meruem. What presence would Leorio have if he was in Heaven's Arena? And how would they impact the series going forward? The answer is that we'll never really know. We can speculate and hypothesize what impact they would leave on the series going forward, but we'll never really know the true answer. But speaking of impact, let's talk about the narrator. Put it simply, I'm not really a fan of the narrator. While I do understand why some people do enjoy the narrator and its impact in the series, I for one just felt like it was pretty simplistic enough to understand. There's not really that much to harp on about this topic, as I do understand the narrator's impact on giving out more characters more detail and very much more distinctive narrative. I just feel like as a whole, it just really didn't do much for me. But if you got something out of it, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now on to my last couple of criticisms. These are mainly just nitpicks and other issues I had with it, so you can take these with you as you will. If you were to ask me what the weakest point of the series is, I would honestly say Greed Island. Now maybe I have some bias to this because I'm not the hugest fan of card games, so the arc just really didn't do it for me, as well as the game didn't feel really explained well. Now from what I've always heard is that this is just an arc for Gon and Killua to learn more about their Nen, and particularly just a training arc to say the least, so I could honestly care less about this arc. My next little complaint is about the power system. While Nen is one of the best power systems in anime, I can't help but feel like in practice it's pretty, to some degree, underwhelming. But that doesn't mean that there aren't great power systems or things that other characters cannot do, but when the main character's only ability is rock, paper, scissors, so far from what we've seen, it just feels like there's a lot left that is unexplored. But the real reason why I don't consider Hunter x Hunter to truly be a masterpiece is my main criticism is the consistency. As I brought up before, Kurapika and Leorio not really being explored too much in the story, Gon's character development, as well as some factors being unexplained, like what exactly is a hunter? What is their job? What are they really supposed to do? Why are they sacrificing their lives for this kind of job? What about Killua's sister? How or why does she have this kind of power? And who is Gon's real mother? As I continue to read through the manga, I hope I can get my answers soon, but overall, these are my criticisms on Hunter x Hunter. As I stated before, I don't think Hunter x Hunter is a bad anime. If I were to put it in a tier list, I would put it right at A tier, and as I said, an 8 to an 8.5 out of 10, with very great storytelling as well as very well written individual characters, with very great themes and messaging. If you have any complaints or disagreements that you would like to say, please comment below and tell me what you disagree about. Or if you feel like I got something wrong or I missed something in general, please tell me what I missed. And if you agree at all, please tell me why you agree. At the time of this recording, I am currently on chapter 363 of the manga, and the story looks really interesting as I continue to read through it. I can't stress this enough, Hunter x Hunter is a great series and in my opinion is a phenomenal anime. But do I think it's a masterpiece? No, but that does not mean my opinion cannot change. And if you do think it's a masterpiece, that's great as well. If you enjoy videos like this, please like, comment, and share. If you didn't, then please hit the dislike button and tell me why. Until then, I'll see you around.